Thanks for joining me for today's video when we're looking at another learning transfer progress blocker. Remember, a progress blocker is something that comes up in a learning transfer conversation that could derail the whole conversation. And the one we're looking at today is when a participant says, well, I just haven't had a chance to use it yet. So remember, with progress blockers, there's 5 external progress blockers and 5 internal progress blockers. The internal are those often within the internal dialogue and the workings of the mind, and the external are more tangible and to do with the outside world. So today we're looking at another external progress blocker, and we're looking at I just haven't had a chance to use it yet. Imagine you're the manager of the participant or the person responsible for supporting that participant with their learning transfer and holding them accountable to putting into place what they've selected to action after the training program. You're looking at a particular goal and they're saying to you, yep, it's all fine, I just haven't had a chance to move that forward very far yet, just because I haven't had a chance to use it. It hasn't become relevant or the context hasn't yet come up, but I'm fine with it. Where would you take that as a manager when that person is clearly trying to derail the process? Maybe not intentionally, but they're certainly trying to stop you digging any further into that particular goal. I've had this progress blocker come up with participants who are working with programs like conflict resolution, performance management. Even one time I had it come up with a client who had set the intention of showing more appreciation to their team that worked with them. And the time had elapsed of, I think, 3 weeks since we'd last spoken, and they hadn't had a chance to show any appreciation to their team. So as you're going through the conversation, you can immediately see that there must be some opportunities. Okay. You need to change the person's context and get them to take a step back and look at this a little bit differently. So in the conversation, actually signpost that. So let's take a step back. I'm going to challenge your thinking around this a little bit, and we're going to look at it slightly differently. So let me just ask you a quick question. Have you ever done any kind of weight training? Get the participant talking about what they know about weight training, or what you can share with them about weight training, in terms of the fact that often if people wanted to be able to lift 50 kilograms, they wouldn't be taught how to lift 50 kilograms and then immediately expect to be able to lift that weight. They'd build up to it. They'd start lifting lighter weights first and they'd work their way up to 50 kilograms. This is no different to when we're trying to create behavioural change. We need to literally build the muscle. Explain that habits are no different and that you need to build the muscle. Get the participant to hold in their mind what a 5 kilogram weight might look like on this particular issue. Then get them to hold in their mind a 20 kilogram weight and then maybe a 50 kilogram weight. So for example, with the person who was talking about needing to show appreciation to their staff, a 5 kilogram weight might just be saying a very quick thank you at the end of the day or for a particular piece of work that's been completed. A 50 kilogram might be about an awards ceremony or a particularly big recognition for a staff. And a 20 kilogram might be sending a quick email and copying in another member of the organisation. Whatever it is for them, get them to think through what the 5, 10, 15, 20, use your definitions as you think appropriate, but just get them to think about the different types of weights. So once you've got them talking about the different weights and how this applies to their particular context, whether it's the performance management, whether it's conflict resolution, or whether it's showing more appreciation to your team, get them talking about it and then ask them what they're thinking as you talk it through. Ask them what commitments they want to make, what are the actions they're going to take away that you can help them be held accountable to next time you have the conversation. If you wanted to move this goal forward, what could you do? What will you do to move this goal forward? How will you measure? Get people to start thinking about the ways they could record if they'd used a 10 kilogram weight that day, or if maybe something of the 50 kilogram weight had come up. Get them to think about how often the 10 kilogram weight would come up on a weekly basis. maybe they might say it happens 3 times a week. We'll then get them to jot down a tick or a cross in the diary when they've actually used that weight. And maybe if they say, once every 2 weeks is probably about a 50 kilogram weight, we'll then get them to just keep in their subconscious that they're looking for that opportunity to try out the process and to step forward from where they are. So hopefully this video will have given you a taste of how you can overcome the progress blocker of I just haven't had a chance to use it yet, and given you a taste of the types of conversations that we have with clients on a daily basis. And I'd love for managers and other people internally within organisations to be having these types of powerful conversations too, and to not feel derailed when a progress blocker comes up. Do give me a call if you want to talk about this further. I'd love to hear from you.